Hello, guys. Welcome to The Identity. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us throughout this whole season. And we're happy that today you're coming to a close. And there are some of you guys who have been telling us, we need some guys, some older guys to be with us so that they can advise us. Well, today is an interesting one. Today we're going to have the couples to grace today's show. And to start us off, I'll just do this once again, just I did it some few times. We are blessed to have Mr. and Mrs. Pastor Ogumbe. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Please introduce us to this lovely person next to you.
All right, I'm here with my wife. She's called Perez Akelo, and picking my other name now.
Karibu sana. Please say hi to a viewer.
Hi.
Hi.
Next to me is the Mayakas. Karibu sana, Elder.
Thank you.
Asante sana.
How are you?
Fine.
Please introduce us to...
It gives me a lot of pleasure to introduce my smart love. She's Zipporah Nyanchama. For record, we've been married for 7 years.
For 7 years.
And we thank God.
Amen. Amen. Karibu, please say hi to our viewers.
Yeah, thank you. I greet you all. I hope you'll be blessed by this show.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm also humbled and happy to introduce myself. Since it's a couple's show, so niko peke yangu. And I think this is the only show where you can get to havoc some people's honeymoon. Yeah, well, Pastor Mayaka, poleni sana. Newly married, congratulations.
Thank you.
I was thinking of what gift to bring you guys. Nikasema sasa nyinyi. Lakini nikahang tu hapo nikasema these guys are just newly married. Congratulations sana.
Thank you.
They're not even 2 weeks. They should be a week now, isn't it? They're just a week old. I think, what do you tell them? Congratulations, Ndio.
Yeah, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club.
Oh, thank you. We really appreciate it. Yeah.
So
we look forward to listening to your 1 week experience.
All right. We will share.
So guys, karibuni sana kwa show. Again, you can interact with us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, you can go to our fan page, that is The Identity. You can also get to Twitter, that is @hope_Kenya. You can @hope_Kenya. You can get to post your questions and comments about what you're going to discuss about. You can also find me on Facebook and on Twitter, that is Samuel Mangi, and on Twitter @Sami Mangi. This show and the whole season show on relationships are going to be posted on our YouTube channel, that is Hope Channel Kenya, and concurrently on our website, that is www.hck.co.ke. Now, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Pastor Denish, right. I want to start with you. Since you have left the mafisi sako. Wale ambao
pastors do not belong there.
But once you're single, you're considered fisi kwa sababu hujapata. But then unatafuta. Well, in this case, you're speaking the fisi in the good way, not the one that tulikuwa tunasema mbaya.
Okay.
How is your experience in marriage?
It's just excellent, gorgeous, fantastic, tantalizing.
Hey.
I can use those vocabularies to describe.
Hey, Perezini nini? What is this good in marriage? Anyway, there's something good. Hata mimi nikifika, I will tell you. I want to start off with you. Today's discussion is mistakes youth make in relationships. And Pastor,
all right.
I want to start with your wife. Vijana wako na tabia ya ku make promises nzuri sana. Did he make you promises?
Oh.
Hold up the mic. Did he promise you very many things? I mean, it's a thing with all men.
Oh, it's common with all men. But for his, it's somehow realistic. I can say that.
So there are unrealistic promises?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Mimi kama kijana sijui unrealistic promises. So what are these unrealistic promises?
Unrealistic promises is that these guys just come from nowhere. They say that I promise to buy you an aeroplane, and yet they're not even earning that much. To take you to Dubai. Yet they're still staying with their moms and dads, so you wonder. So I think for him, there are such people. So I think for him, it was. I tried to listen and to adjust, and so that it was true. So everything he said about this and that, they came to pass. So just thank him a lot.
Pastor, please, what are some of these unrealistic promises that we, the youth, have promised our girlfriends?
All right, these are numerous. Just as she has already tackled a few, there are lots and lots of promises that young men, gents, actually do normally, echo most of the times. And some of these are like you promise, a lady to buy her car. You promise that after maybe your wedding, you will buy her house. You promise like I will do you this and that. There are so many promises. In fact, as we are sharing in the show, they are watching and they can be able to to think of many of these particular promises that they have made before. So they are quite numerous that we can't be able to mention all of them.
When you put unrealistic there, it makes me think. So there are realistic promises that people can have.
Yes.
And what if my realistic point is I see myself buying you a car? What about that? My point of vision is big.
Okay.
How will you advise a person?
Okay, there are those who can talk prophetically. But
Hey, Pastor, prophetically tena. Okay,
like that one is like, you are is a dream or a vision you have. But when you really are serious with somebody, be open. Tell the person that this is what I'm planning. I still don't have it yet, but I have a dream. That would be something understandable. Rather than saying, those who make these unrealistic promises, they say that I will. When somebody puts it that way, it means that it's something that there is a high probability of it being in place. Rather than say that I have a dream that one day, if God blesses us, I will buy you this and that.
So the whole point of being realistic is acknowledging where you are at in life.
Yeah, that's very important.
Elder Mayaka, been in marriage for 7 years and you've been attached to family life.
Yes.
You have also been, I think you're one of the most youthful couple I've met.
Really?
Yeah, one of, but yes, you never know, they're talking best man. What are some of these promises that we young men and promise our girlfriends that we should be cautious about?
Allow me to share my experience.
Please do.
And this is what I would recommend to any young person. We met when we met with my smart love.
Hey.
Relax.
Leo nitatesa kwa hii show. Okay, continue.
When we met in a church setting. We were serving together in the youth department. We were very good friends. We were no strangers to each other. To the extent that we knew the real, we knew each other from a real point of view.
It's not idea.
So by the time we hooked up and we started dating, it was not a beginning. We had traveled some sober journey, together in church, where we were not in a position to hide each other's, each other's character from each other's character. So by the time we were starting dating, we were real, because she knew me properly. She knew my status, the fact that I was a student and all that, and I also knew her. So even while we were dating, we were sober. We knew our status. So we could not make weird
promises.
But yet we had that dream that once we get married, it is not about what I promise, but it's about what we'll start doing together.
What you'll accomplish together.
The kind of goals we'll set together, and then we accomplish as a couple, as a family. So it is no longer me fulfilling any funny promise. It is about us setting a target. If we achieve it, it's a win-win. If we don't, it's, you know, it will not blame any party.
Zippy, let me come to you. I'm sure you've had, you have interacted with some of the young ladies, and they have told you some of the weirdest promises that have been promised. Can you share with us one or two? Because me, I know a couple of which, unfortunately, probably I've said it to someone right there. But we'll get to learn in this. What are some of these weird promises that people have?
Okay, it's real, by the way. People get promised very, very weird things. But before I go to that, even I remember when we were dating, he was very open and told me, but they remember, you're marrying a very poor guy. He was very, and that point he used to repeat it every time so that it sinks into my mind. And I told him, it doesn't matter. I've made up my mind. We'll travel the journey of poverty together until we achieve what we want. Yeah, so coming to your question, I think it's all about openness while dating. Some couples are not open enough. So you find maybe somebody is hiding there. Maybe somebody comes and tells you, you know, I work at the UN. I earn 100,000. And in the real sense, so, and maybe they had such couples, you find that they've not physically, maybe like the meeting times that we usually have while dating, they are very rare. It's always ever you're chatting or you're meeting over the hotels. It's never real. So you know, my fiancé works at the UN. He told you when he's very busy, there's no time to have physical meetings. And so he says, I'll buy you a house, you know. I'll give you maybe a wedding gift that I'll give you is car keys, some of these things. But when reality checks in, when you get married and you find that such things ain't happening, that's where trouble begins. Yeah, so people get promised weird things because they are never open while dating. They are so secretive, and there's so much lies in everything during the journey. Yeah, so I think the bottom line is be open while dating and be very honest.
Be open
and honest and realistic.
Yes. And also one thing that I think from my little experience, I'm not dating again, but one thing that I've learned, the social class that people have do not dictate who they are. Because you find that I'm with this amazing couple and they are of this social class. Just because they are my friends doesn't say that is exactly how my bank account trades. Or that doesn't tell you anything about that. So let us be real. As much as they're my friends, I am a poor person. I'm a student. I work and I make probably 50,000. So say it out there, because it's going to help in somebody actually understanding this is what I'm getting into. Wow, amazing. Now, in the quest of getting that good person, there are those who, Elder, I want to bring you in, there are those people who have a hard time in accepting rejection. And kunole matasema, I got it way, now this is a home run. How can I as a young person deal with accepting this fate that has come my way, or even facing rejection?
The subject of rejection is very interesting.
Ngoja kabla tujaenda hapo, ulikataliwa. Zivya kwa mara tuambia.
The subject of rejection, yes. It is very interesting. You see, young people, they are fond of going for something that looks appealing, you know, for the moment. And then they deny, you may end up denying an opportunity to somebody who has a potential of giving you a happy marriage. So there are two sides to it. But the important thing is that, you know, we should not go for somebody who is unpredictable. It is better to be rejected, and Ellen G. White records this. It is better to break an engagement than getting into marriage with the wrong person. I see a lot of positive things with rejection.
No, Elder, wait. When you say we are not supposed to go with somebody who's unpredictable. What do you mean? What do you mean by unpredictable?
Let me say this. If you are dating somebody and they are behaving in a manner that is so unkind to you, they are mistreating you, you know, they are not...
you don't put your interest at heart.
They don't have you at heart. I mean, is that somebody to cry about? And do you know that even if you persevere and you get into marriage, the situation will remain the same.
Or even worse.
Or even worse.
Wow.
People don't change. People don't change. It is better to walk out of a dating relationship that is not adding any value to your life other than allowing yourself to get into marriage.
You're progressing to the good things that can come out of a rejection or a breakup. What good can...
A lot of good things, let me tell you. I thank God for the...
Elder, are you being realistic?
I am being realistic. I am being realistic.
Okay.
I'm talking from a real point of view. I thank God for the many ladies out there who rejected my proposals. Because they made me to appreciate myself, you know. They made me to appreciate my smart love when I met her, you know. Looking back, I even thanked God that it didn't happen, because how could I have met her, you know. So rejections don't necessarily come to bring us down. They prepare us for better things in future. And when a good thing comes, you'll appreciate. The sad part is, and let me address ladies because I'm a man. The sad bit is where you look at you have your own list of things that you want from a man, and when any man approaches you, you go through your checklist and
You
even
check all the boxes.
you check on the boxes, and you quickly judge a honest young man of God and reject him, you know, simply because he didn't meet those that didn't meet criteria. And then you move on 1, 2, 3, 4 years, nobody is bringing forth any proposal, you know, and then by that time the young man has moved on, and that is why we married men are disturbed sometimes by ladies who rejected us. You know, when they look at us now, when we are married, you know, they can't believe that they lost an opportunity. So rejection it's a two sides coin.
Perez, let me bring you in. You see, there's a gentleman, Oko, who say, there's a lady there, there's a gentleman there who's saying, you know, I was also looking forward to have a Pastor Danish in my life. But then, who has many reject? You know? So my basically, if that lady had, or that gentleman had invested their all, that means the world will come crumbling. Isn't that as in, it's logical to say like that?
Okay.
Isn't it?
Okay, what I can say, okay, rejection is not the end of the world. It's not the end of everything. You still have your life to live. Live your life to the fullest. Then your happiness depends on you, not on somebody else. Even I can say my happiness depends on me. It's not him to make me happy. I am responsible for my happiness. Then another thing, when you are rejected, don't feel bad. You see, like young people, they think of murdering themselves.
Let me tell you, brother, you guys are married. You guys are married. I'll tell you for free. You guys make it look good, but it is very hard to handle rejection.
No.
Pastor Danish, do you understand these things? Pastor Danish, please, as we bring you in. It's a very hard, because people on the other end will be like, no, you see, you guys are married. If you went through this, maybe it's not the way we go through
Pastor
it.
Comes in, you know, for us, we have that opportunity, that privilege to look back. You know,
That's the only thing.
that is the only thing
Wow.
that makes us tell you from experience that rejection is good. Yeah. So for a young person, it may be a painful experience, yes, but further along, as you move on with life, you'll appreciate that for sure.
Yeah.
God was God, I am happy you didn't allow me to
Get married to person
get married
X.
to person X.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay,
Pastor
let me share. This is a very wonderful topic. In
Uh-huh.
fact, I will be speaking to many who maybe have gone through this experience. Now, rejection is one of the hardest things to bear, truly speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember when I first thought of beginning, finding a girlfriend and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time, the lady that I loved most, whom I would sleep and dream about.
Hakuna kulala. Yani ukilala yani akili iko huko, you're not eating.
Yeah. Now, those were the days that, youths, somebody would come say, hey, I have a girlfriend, you can, hey, and then people begin debating,
Mnaonaje?
yeah, and then, people would give comments, and then you think of somebody, and then now the language how to approach and eventually verbalize your
interest.
Your interest. You meet the lady it's like ladies most of the times they knew even before you say what you wanted.
Zipi ni kweli?
Before you say it, immediately, you say, hey, and then maybe she stops. I'm talking about the traditional way, leave alone this one. This nowadays WhatsApp and blah, blah, blah. He's changing things. Now, those days, and then in the event the lady stands and, comes and begin talking.
No, face to face.
And then the answer the lady gives, those days we would sit and discuss and talk, and then people will tell we know if you approach, you say this, the lady would say this, and if she says this, you will continue this way, and then the first answer the lady would give you would turn you upside down,
throws you off.
Instead of standing this way, instead of standing this way, upright, you upside down. Everything has gone.
The formula has been mixed up.
The formula has been mixed up. So you've forgotten everything. But basically, rejection was a hard thing. It's something that when somebody goes through deep in, there's that bad feeling, and that's why you see most of the young people, they end up, some committing suicide and the rest.
Which is sad.
Is sad. But one thing that I've come to learn along the process, being that now I'm married to my beautiful lady here.
You guys are suffocating me. But continue.
I've come to realize that in the process of looking for somebody who can best suit you, you first have to put God first. And then as you put God, allow God's will to always reign in the process. And as you allow God's will to reign in the whole process, God would allow some to reject you because they are not the best for you. And that's not the end of it. You just keep praising God and saying, thank you, God. I know that there's something, God, just coming ahead of me. There's something still ahead. Let me just keep praising God and keep looking and keep praying.
One thing I'm learning from this discourse is that regardless of the rejection, regardless of how high you had esteemed somebody to be, the ideal couple, that setback is your setup. And your happiness should not be determined by a particular person.
Right.
You should own your happiness. Regardless, akubali, akatae, let all be unto God's will. Yes.
There is something about rejection that I have seen in the short life I've lived. The enemy is using rejection to bring down the lives of many of our young people. And they end up making very terrible mistakes. You see, like for instance, for a lady, you will be rejected by a man. And then, just by being single does not make you a social misfit. I mean, you still have your life.
Being single is not a social misfit. Wow.
So the mistake most people make is after rejection, then you just out of desperation you settle for anything, just to show off to the other person that you did what you moved on.
So it's not what you desired.
It's not what you desire, but simply because Zippy has rejected me, and we're in the same we're in the same setting. I will make
settle
sure
for
I
somebody
go
else.
for somebody else with an intention of
hitting back
on her, without realizing that whatever you are doing, you are messing up your own life. You will you're also messing up somebody's life. You are bringing in somebody into a mix
Mhm.
that they are not even aware about. You listen to most young couples who have issues in their marriages. You try to take their history. You realize that they are harboring a lot of pain in their hearts from past relationships. They didn't take time
To heal.
to heal.
Wow.
They just moved on with just to show the other person that they did
I
what?
can do it
Can
without
do it
you.
without you.
I can do it
Actually
but
better.
deep down they still love that person,
Mhm.
they still love that person, and they could be in this marriage physically,
But mentally
but
and
mentally
emotionally.
they're out.
Wow. Wow.
And that's where you
As you come to a
find,
break,
yeah,
uh-huh.
and that's where you find such marriages that end up this way. You find you start comparing. You compare your husband to some imaginary person because your partner right now doesn't know about your past. You didn't open up and you didn't tell him or her. So you find you're ever comparing. You're saying in your mind, and somehow it doesn't go well down with such marriages. Yeah.
Wow.
As I'm just saying a point,
Yes. Make us
what I
know.
want to add is that dealing with now this idea of rejection, I think it's very much important that two people who are mature enough should be able to communicate. Just tell somebody the reason why. Why? If it's not God's will, just communicate. Let that person be free, so that that person cannot feel a pinch that you've just rejected in the maybe out of rebellion or maybe punishment, something like that. So communication is key in helping another person to feel that it was not by what? Maybe by bad intention or something like that.
Communication is key.
Yeah.
We're going for a break. Please share with us on what you think about what we've discussed. And we do hope that you're learning. During this, we're going to have a talent segment. Please stay tuned till the end.
Hello, my name is George Nkoba. I'm going to sing Remind Me Dear Lord. Most are the times in our lives when we think we have made it and we forget where we're from. I just want to remind God that I just want God to remind me that where He has brought me is far. All the things that I love and hold dear to my heart, I just borrowed, they're not mine at all. Jesus, only let me use them to brighten my life. So remind me, dear Lord. Roll back the curtains of memory now and then. Show me where you brought me from and where I should have been. And just remember that I'm human, and humans forget. So remind me, dear Lord, nothing good have I done to deserve God's own Son, and I'm not worthy of the scars in His hands. And yet He chose the road to Calvary to die in my place. And why He loves me, I can't understand. Roll back the curtains of memory now and then. Show me where you brought me from and where I should have been. And just remember that I'm human, and humans forget. So remind me, dear Lord. Ebu fungua kumbu zangu, unionyeshe uko ulikonitoa. Mimi ni mdhaifu, ninasahau, unikumbushe Bwana wangu. So remind me, dear Lord.
Welcome to The Identity. We're coming to the close of this whole season, and we have the Mayakas and the Gumbes who are helping us understand the mistakes that we make as youths in relationships. Karibuni tena sana. Now, as we are going to the break, oh guys, please share with us on our social media platforms. Tafadhali, our Facebook fan page is The Identity, and on Twitter @Hope_Kenya. Find me on Facebook, on Twitter, that is Samuel Mangi, respectively. This show and many others are going to be on YouTube and on our website. Karibuni tena sana. Now, as you're going to the break, I want to re-echo what Pastor you said, that communication is key. Now, in the same light, probably could bring you Zippy, is there are these red flags that people wanna lenga in relationships in the quest to believe that, you know what, at a change. Zippy.
Yeah. Thank you. When we began this show, my husband mentioned about ignoring and saying people don't change.
People don't change.
Yeah.
It's their status.
Yeah. Actually, what a person is during dating, that is the real person. And especially adults never change. So the red flags, actually, that's why we have the red flags, and you should be very keen and wise. That's why you said when you get to a relationship, be in a sober mind. Be very, what can I say? Be very sharp and open-minded. And then, so that you can be able to read the red danger signs. For example, the violence in relationship. A man who hits you before you paid even one cow. That is a man who always hit you in the house, regardless of anything. So don't be fool and say that is he loves me too much. He's trying to protect. He's trying to protect the love or anything. That is a man who is physically abusive, and he will continue abusing you in marriage. And also have something like age difference. age difference is, some people say that age is just but a number. You just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't have anything to do with marriage, but I've seen it affecting other marriages. So, for example, you were married to a person who is 20 years older than you, either a man or the wife. This affects the marriage in the sense that you don't have the same interest at heart. For example, if you're married to a partner who is 20 years older than you, maybe they are thinking about retirement. And you're here thinking about children, you know. And somehow you will have to differ in so many things. So age is something to consider very, very importantly. Don't say that it's just a number. It's not a number. It's a very key thing when you're getting into marriage.
And interestingly, sisi vijana tuko na hiyo mentality. You know, mtu aligrow mapema.
And by the way, ladies mature faster. So if you are 20 and you're getting to married to a lady who is of almost heading to 40s, you won't reason the same, because already by the time you're age mates with your wife, she's already thinking way ahead than you.
Kuna mtu atoka na baba mwingine utoto.
Exactly.
Literally speaking.
Utoto hapo, of which, and you are trying to imagine you're both adults, of which it's not the case. And then there's something that we talked about, being sexually active, being physically involved too soon. Before we go to physically being involved too soon, you have something to add about the red flags?
On the red flags, what I want to say is that love is perceived as a feeling, but for me,
speaking from experience, for the record,
experience, for us, love is a decision. It is not a feeling. Feelings change.
Wow.
It's a decision. You sit down, two mature adults, and you decide that this is the direction we are taking. And in the course of that journey, circumstances will come that will change will make us sad or happy. As long as it's a decision we made, we will forge on.
Wow.
Mangi, I have seen young people who are in relationships which clearly, regardless of the perspective you look at them, they are wrong. They are wrong relationships. You try to advise them that this thing is not going to work,
but they defiantly,
they intentionally stand against that concept. I did that also. I remember back in the village, I was dating this girl, and one day as we were doing a nature walk somewhere, we came head on with my dad.
Wow.
And Dad just greeted us, and you guys are okay? Okay, I'll see you in the evening. So in the evening, of course, I expected.
You are prepared.
I was prepared for someone. So my dad called me, and he told me, son, I am very happy. I am extremely happy on the progress that you are making in your life. I just cleared my fourth form. I was pretty young. He told me, I'm very happy, I'm proud of you, but then I want to advise you on that girl. I have nothing against you. You guys, I know you love each other, but there is a small aspect about the family where she comes from that I need you to know. Then you'll make your own decision. Then, he told me things that I may not speak on TV. But I thank God I was sober enough, and I never went back to that girl to explain anything. I just
even though uliachwa,
I know it was wrong. I mean, I was too young and I didn't have the courage and the language to explain to the other party.
Why you're disappearing.
But yes, that was a red flag, a counsel that I took from somebody who was elder than me. And I think that is a lesson for our young people. When your parents come to you,
your advisors,
and they advise you, they are doing it, I mean, they mean good. They mean good. They are telling you from a real perspective. be keen to take counsel.
Amen. Be keen to take counsel. Let's progress. Pastor Denish, there's this whole other aspect of, vijana, when we are young, we want to get physical, and, I don't know if you can unaweza shikanisha.
Yeah, I'm picking you.
Yes, I'm choosing to be very polite with my language today.
Okay.
Like we as youth want to, embrace that lady and ndio kuwa affirmed. What is your counsel regarding getting physical with your girlfriend?
All right. This is one of the challenges that are common in today's relationship. Because there are those who say that you can't buy a sweet and you can't buy a car and you don't taste the car.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to take it for a drive
A
to
road
taste
test.
a road test. Unfortunately, that they take it for road test before actually buying.
Mm-hmm.
Cars, when you go to buy, you have to first have it, you go for a road test, and then you come and say, yeah, I think it's good, I can pay for it. Now, most of the young people have found themselves in such a scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say in a humble tone that the Bible and our Lord says it is not good for any young person, for anybody, to indulge in immoral practices before what? Marriage. So, basically, as a person, we've been struggling with this lady for a very long time. In fact, we've been friends with her from 2015.
Wow.
2015, just friends. I would pick her, we go preach, and I would not even think of telling her something.
Mm-hmm.
2016 is when I began saying something. 2017, I kept saying something, but she was also like, wait a bit, I'm still thinking. So it was just in January this year that I actually made it formal. I went to the parents and said I'm interested, and after that they gave me some period to continue, and in the process actually I engaged on a pulpit. I was preaching.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the event I said I have a friend and today I would like to make it something formal, and in the process we did everything and we left there knowing that for sure this lady is serious. So what I'm saying is this: it is good for young people to wait. Don't indulge in that unwanted business.
Premarital sex.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Now, Perez, let me bring you in.
Okay.
We youths have a defiant nature of, you can say and you will understand, but then there's a challenge in making that decision. What should I as a youth want to echo in my life in regarding to get physical in this nature, premarital sex, or even the cuddling aspect and the pecking, kissing aspect? How can I as a youth make a personal pursuit to stand?
Okay. First of all, you have to, that is setting boundaries. You have to make it clear that before this, we should not do this and this. Because when you do this, there is some positive or negative consequences. So bear in mind that, first of all, you're going to be punished by God. Second, things like HIV. That's why young people nowadays have got this HIV, which should not be the case with the youth, because they're informed at school, in church, everywhere they're informed about these diseases.
Sexually related.
Yeah, sure. Then, so another thing, about the social media, you should avoid things like pornography and such. Maybe when you watch these things together, that's why you change your mind to say that let's try this at home.
You get aroused by just wanting to engage.
Sure.
Not physical, but mentally. The moment you engage your mom,
so everything starts from the mind,
Wow.
with the mind. Then another thing, you should pray about it and pray for God to give you that grace until you make that decision or until you get married
Amen.
for that purpose.
Make a statement, Pastor. as
all
we
right.
progress.
As a young preacher, allow me to quote a verse from the Bible.
Please go ahead.
The book of Psalms 119 and verses 9. There's a question that's posted here. How can a young man keep his ways pure?
Pure.
And then the answer follows next. By living according to your word. Now this is a lesson to us as young people.
Oh, please, for the clarification of the viewer who is saying,
All right.
living according to the word, not my word,
All right.
God's word.
God's word.
God's word. Thank
Continue.
you. All right, thank you. So it's just an addition with regards to the topic we are handling. It's not good for a Christian and for young people to engage in sexual immoral practices before marriage.
Amen.
Actually, I was surprised. There's some young people I met because I talk with youth most of the times, and a youth was telling me that before you get married, you ought to get together with the one you propose. Maybe you are looking forward to marry. You get together, you stay together for some time before you get married.
Cohabiting.
Cohabiting. That one is sin. In fact, if you talk about dating, aspects of dating, which has been revolutionized. Dating is not biblical, but when it's revolutionized, it can suit young people. So if anybody is in a relationship thinking that one day they would even get into courting and marry, they should take some cautions. Number one, they should say that no sex before what? In fact, they should take a vow. A vow not to commit sexual immoral practices until what? Until marriage. And I think they ought to do is that dating should be in public, where people see you. Yeah.
Wanajua tunawaona.
Yeah, tunawaona. So there are so many points that I would add, but in the process, as young people, let us bear with this in mind.
Let's live according
And
to
let
God's
it also
word.
be in the light of the parents. Let parents be watching what you're doing.
Aha.
All right.
Thank you so much. Aldama, I want to bring you in. Yes, now that we've discussed about this, but then there's this habit that we youth have. We are desperate to, we are desperate to get to that. Yani kukuwa na mtu lazima mcall jioni, lazima uamke ukiwa mamuulize. You're even desperate to get married. What is your counsel towards that? Wait, is it even happening?
It is happening, but let me just take you back,
Okay.
because I have not put in my thought on young people getting too much involved. Physically.
Oh, please do.
The question is, who sets our standards? I read something that looked to me like a joke, but it's real, on social media, that was saying that in a man's lifetime, he produces 50 grams. Yeah, 50 a man's lifetime. But now what is happening these days? Even before our youths get married,
I'm exhausted.
So it's not a laughing matter. It's not a laughing matter. It's a very, very painful and sad experience that is happening with our young people, and it's happening right in church. There's too much premarital sex in church. It's a very sad picture that, as church leaders, we have to stand on the rooftop and shout. We have to shout. Let us not allow, as young people, let us not allow world systems to inflate our minds and to set standards for us. Soap operas and all these things are turning things round. But back to your, what you were asking. There's a lot of pressure in the society generally, and I really pity the singles. Sometimes I feel it.
Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. There's a lot of pressure. The pressure is one from the young people themselves.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Continue,
for a moment you're with me on my side, and then again you're hitting
the pressure
me.
is from the young people themselves. You give yourself a lot of pressure, simply because your friend so and so and so and so as is in a serious relationship, and they are planning for their wedding, you know, it gives you a lot of pressure, and you want to settle for anything just so that you to fit in, so that you catch up with them. There's also pressure from the society, from parents. You know, parents are like, you are the firstborn, your second-born sibling is getting married next week. What about you?
Akiwaambia kamera ndio ile.
Yes.
Ambia wazazi tafadhali.
So this is my message to parents. We were not there when you guys were getting married. we have no idea how you met. I was talking to our church elder, my senior church elder back in New Life, and this is what we were sharing our experiences on how we met our spouses. And for him, he was telling us yeye kwa kimila yao walikuwa wanaletewa. You know, ndio huyu. And then it's somebody you don't know, na mnaanza maisha. So our parents had their own experiences. So they should not put a lot of pressure on the young people. Number two, young people, you know, the fact that you are not in any relationship yet does not change your value, you know. Get to find out your worthiness in life. It's not pegged on marriage. It's not pegged on the other party, you know. Find out your value, and, you know, live your life at the right time. This person will come. No pressure. Don't give yourself any pressure.
Please talk to the ladies. Kuna I don't want to say that I know of them, but there are ladies who wanafikanga some, I don't know if it's an age thing, that ikifika hapa wa my case is finished. Please speak to the ladies.
Yeah, it's happening. It's real. But as he has said, at the right time, things will happen. I have a friend who got married at 45. She took her time. We cannot know what really happened in the past, but really she got married at 45, and she's still surviving. She's still happily married, just like you was married at 30. So there's no difference. Just as he said, being single doesn't make you a social misfit. And at the right time, and I think I read somewhere that Ellen G was saying that when you are courting, if you've never prayed, or if you've not been praying, this is a time you should pray even 4-5 times a day. So even in searching, when you're still searching for a life partner, it's also a time you should really, really take your time and pray for God to show you the way and to give you the right partner. And at the right time, it will happen. So there's no need to be pressure that, oh, my colleague is getting married, everybody around me, the circle of all my friends,
all my girlfriends are getting married.
All my girls are getting married, and I'm just here, I'm heading 35. No, just take your time. And marriage is marriage. Even if it happens at 50, at 20, at 30, point is you still get married and you will live a happily married life.
Wow.
Yeah, so bottom line is take your time and pray for God to bring you the right person.
Pray for God. Pray to God for Him to give you a right person.
And it will happen at the right time.
At the right time.
Yeah, because you know God is never late.
God is never.
Yeah, He's always
Thank
on
you.
time. His time is the best. Even if it's at 40, at 30, that is the right time. That's when you are destined to get married. So let's avoid all the pressures and everything. And let's focus.
Turn a blind eye to those pressures. Kukimbilia maisha na kupeleka mbali. Elder, no, Pastor, please add voice on investments, because you're coming to a close. As you come to a close, we young people, since I have seen that there's a prospect with this lady, I want to invest in everything, and I'll probably invest in a wrong way. Do you have any counsel on that as you come to a close?
Okay, before I mention on that, allow me to maybe comment 1 minute on what they have talked about desperation. Now, somebody would just be desperate if you don't have something to do. So my piece of advice is this. Find something to do as a young person. Engage yourself in an activity. Find something you can do. Have your time with your Bible. Pray every day. Worship God. Engage yourself in services, delivering to the community. That would be very, very nice to kill desperation. Now, coming back to investment. Investment, of course, many young people, dream to invest. Man, but now the problem here is that once you get in love with somebody whom you maybe see as a great prospector, and then you put all your investments maybe in one bag, banking that things would work out. What if things doesn't work out? I've seen many people being heartbroken, many people, you know, falling into bad traps, because even joining drug addiction, the clubs of drug addiction, what joining alcohol and the rest, because they are heartbroken. So investments, my point and opinion is this, that however good you may see somebody good, invest with a brain and invest with a mind and a heart, so that once when things go well, you are good. When things go bad, you are still safe.
You're safe.
All right. Yeah. So don't do investments that would hurt you or bring you down, but do investments that would glorify even God.
Thank you so much. We're coming to a close, but there is one point that I want Elder Mayaka, you put it clear. Sisi vijana tuko na tabia, yani ukiona ni my friend huko Nick anaoa and other friends, you're like, you're excited about it. Yani Pastor Denisha alioa last week. Yeah. What's up, man? What is this excitement?
By the way, that aspect can still perfectly fall into investment. In this sense. And let me bring in on weddings. Weddings.
Please do.
You know, our young people are investing so much in weddings.
And in this case, you mean financial investment.
Financial investment in weddings, my friend. And we forget that a wedding is just a beginning. It's not a climax.
It's a one-day occasion.
It's a one-day occasion. And the most, if you are to ask me, the most important thing is what is starting, not really what happens. There's a lot of confusion, you know, in the manner in which weddings are done these days, Mangi. We have run away from the simplicity that is recommended, and we have gone to another extreme, you know. Nowadays, we see very funny budgets, you know.
Nasikia kwa church announcement, our brother is marrying, budget yake ni 3 million.
Fine, if you have the money, ni sawa. But even if it was your own money, honestly, that money will be better be invested, do a simple wedding and invest the rest of that money, you know, so my message to young people, those who are contemplating marriage, those who have started their logistics and planning for their weddings, do not put all your resources into weddings.
All right.
Invest in your marriage. Invest in your marriage.
Wow.
You know, be reasonable. Take advice. I regret if there is a mistake we made. If there is a mistake we made, and I want to apologize to our parents, is the fact that we were so thick-headed and we didn't listen to the counsel they gave us regarding our wedding 7 years ago. You know,
you invested properly.
We invested, and I remember
wedding of the year.
I remember. I remember, and by the way, it happened during the royal wedding. So,
wow.
So we were caught up with
that frenzy.
With that frenzy, and I remember our parents telling us that, you see, you guys, when they were looking at our budget, they were telling us, you are going to spend this much on decoration, on flowers. Stuff that will be collected and thrown at the corner of the church after the wedding. You are spending this much on wedding invitation cards, spending like 300 shillings per card.
Wow.
Honestly, have you ever thought about where this card is going after you have given it to somebody?
Kwa jiko.
What are they? You know, and you know, you guys, why can't you look for a choir to grace your wedding? Why have you chosen to go for a band that is charging so much and they are going to sing 3 songs? Yet we have wonderful choirs in the Adventist church that can come and present nice Christian songs. we were so adamant. And we told them, you know what, guys?
It's our day.
It's our day.
It happens once in a
It
lifetime.
happens once in a lifetime. And believe you me, we went for honeymoon and we were broke. And then, we started.
I was holding a laughter, but
Yes. You can laugh. You can laugh. But this is a mistake that we regret. And that's why we are telling young people, even as we end this show today, on mistakes young people commit in relationships. We are not speaking to from a perspective where we think we are perfect and new. But what we are saying is, some of these mistakes that we have already committed, why should you also commit them? Yeah? Sisi tumekubali tulifanya makosa. Yeah? So based on our learn from us. Go for very simple weddings. Avoid these and by the way, if you have noticed from the secular corporate world, weddings have become a business.
True.
Those guys don't care where you get that money. What they're even competing the best in decoration. We have TV shows that are now very famous, showing weddings. So that thing has crept into the church, and our young people are competing. Oh, your wedding. If your wedding had a limousine, then you confuse and scare everyone else. You see, to the extent that our young people want to evade weddings, which is the prescribed way of starting marriage in our church setting. They are running away from it, and they want, to just go and settle and start life simply because they think it is a very expensive affair. Yet, a wedding is very, very simple.
Go simple.
It's go simple. Simplicity.
Thank you. Zippy, your final statement as we come to a close regarding mistakes that sisi tunafanya. Your final statement.
What I can say, what is really disturbing the young people right now is peer pressure. You want to outdo your friend. You want to be the best. So now you even find you have, yes, you are friends, you are four of you have weddings last month, next month, December. So you lined up yourself to follow each other so that you can copy and be the best than you outdo your unachukua paka load. Just kama alikuwa na ile sasa mimi nitakuwa na ile, kama alikuwa na limousine nitakuwa na Chrysler, nitakuwa na farasi, nitakuwa na helicopter, Yeah, so what I could say is, let us be, marriage is what God has prescribed for all of us. Let us not make it look like it's unachievable. It is achievable if only we approach it with a very sober mind and be realistic in this world, in this real world right now. So let's make weddings be simple. As actually a wedding is complete with a pastor and the certificate. So the rest of other things just a show off.
Msibambe
watu. You just come entertain us, you leave us, we go. Nyi mnaenda mnabaki na stress. Sisi tumekula, tumedance, tumefanya kila kitu. We've gone home happy, but you've gone home sad. So let's make it simple, just as simple as it should be, but then we have a successful marriage.
Thank you so much. Perez.
Okay.
Final remarks.
My final remarks on mistakes among young people. Okay, we said about rejection. So, we talked about various things. So, what I can say is that just live your life. Your happiness depends on you, and let go of the past.
Let go of the past. Wow. Pastor.
Yes. Thank you very much for hosting us today.
Thank you so much.
We are really very happy. It's our first week in marriage. We want to take this time to really thank those who supported us. We did a simple wedding. It was simple and people appreciated. We never brought this entertainment and the rest, but it was nice. Gorgeous. I thank Baraka Soweto. They came there, sang, and it was nice. Youths from Kisumu came, graced the occasion. It was nice. And we thank God. It was good. We thank Karengata. They supported as well. It was simple. And that simple thing is what we must preach to fellow young people. In coming up with a wedding, let it not be a mistake. Coming up with something that you can't afford and then stressing people. Let it be simple and you will get the necessary support. Hizo pesa zenye ziko mingi, weka za honeymoon, weka hizo pesa mingi, weka. Do something after you get married.
Amen.
Right? And as I'm commenting on the last bunch, the way you said, most of us, for sure, even us, we made some mistakes. But now that we are past that, we have got experience. And experience is the best what? Teacher. So because we have experience, we can share with others. We tell them, hey, please, you can pick
Seek
up
counsel.
yourself
Yeah, true.
and seek this particular counsel that we have been giving here today, so that they may get it right. And getting it right, I must just remind them once again that it involves putting God first.
Putting God first.
It involves prayer. It involves studying the Word of God. It involves sharing, actually seeking information, guidance, and counsel from those who have been in, from that particular step. And by doing that, we young people will avoid these particular common mistakes that would hamper with our lives. And we will live blessed people, happy people, and God will bless us with the best partners. And we will be happy for a lifetime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, viewers. It has been an amazing experience. And if there's someone who has learned enough, it's me. If you haven't learned, I guess you won't be too late. Go to our social media platforms, ask a question, comment. That is Facebook, The Identity, on Twitter, at Hope_Kenya. You can also find me on Facebook and on Twitter. That is Samuel Mangi and at Sammy Mangi, respectively. This whole series on relationship is going to be archived on our YouTube channel. Before we close, Pastor Denisha has written a good book, and he'll be gracing our screens very soon on our show called The Riser every morning. Please don't miss. And his book is Youths Destined for Higher Blessing. I'm happy to be among the first people who got a copy. Wait for it, and please find time and get to read it. Thank you so much, and thank you guys. God bless you. We are coming to a close. Be with us, be blessed, and stay safe.